Hello everyone, this is Chase Matthews with episode 5 of In the Car, and I am your host.
No, you're not. Give me that. I'm actually your host this time around, the gentleman John Campbell. Hi, how you doing? Nice to see you all again. You're all looking well, except for you. Maybe you should put some clothes back on when you're watching Chase Matthews videos. We are here in the car. It's actually a van, and it's not even my van, so I hope we don't get arrested. But I have some questions that I was going to ask Chase Matthews today because he's always doing the asking. Now it's time that he is put in the spotlight, and it's time that he is asked some questions. So, yeah, you better put your sunglasses on. See, I notice a lot of people when they do videos like this, or if they are being interviewed, they put sunglasses on, and I never really understood why. Like, I think it's because they don't want to know that, they don't want other people to know they're lying, because if you look to the left, I think, that means you're lying, and if you're looking to the right, that means you're thinking. I learned that in my psychology class, so little tip out there for you in the dating world if you want to know if your spouse or significant other is lying. But I digress, I'm getting off topic here. We're here to talk about Chase Matthews.
Alright, sunglasses are off, by the way.
Sunglasses are off. See, I like that look. It's on your... I'm gonna wear your sunglasses.
Right,
give me these.
Alright, you can have them.
How do I look? See, I have to... Yeah, I look pretty good. See, I have to look in the rear view mirror to see myself. Yeah, I'm looking pretty studly right now. Alright, so, Chase Matthews, first and foremost, on my little format here. See, I got the format, but you can't see it because I'm going to ask the questions. Where were you born and raised?
Born, raised, and still live there in Coldwater, Michigan.
Coldwater, Michigan. Love Coldwater, Michigan. It's very far away from where I live, but it's a nice town.
It's okay.
I spent more time in Quincy than I have in Coldwater, but, you know, I digress. I'm going off on a tangent. My sunglasses are fogging up. It's hot in here.
It is pretty hot.
They're actually your sunglasses that are fogging up. You might want to wipe them off. I'm kind of sweaty.
That's all good.
When did you, Chase Matthews, become interested in pro wrestling?
Man, all my life, as far as I can remember. I remember when I was like 3 or 4. My parents have family videos of me running around. Maybe it wasn't 3 or 4 because
home movies, if you will.
I was in a diaper, so I hope I wasn't 3 or 4.
Like the great Power Uti, he wrestles in a diaper.
Yeah, that guy. Anyway, I remember wrestling around with one of those wrestling buddies, the Ted DiBiase one. That was the one that I had, and later on, when I got a little bit older, WCW came out with their wrestling buddies, and I had a DDP doll. But
you know what sucked about those? I'm gonna interrupt you. They had the little battery packs in them.
Yes.
And they made the cool noises, and that was fine. But like, you know, you couldn't like jump off your bed and like elbow drop them or splash them or something because you'd always hit that hard battery pack.
My pack. That lasted about a week, and then I just cut it out.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. And I guess kids were getting electrocuted. They were taking them in the bathtub. I don't know if I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes for an interesting story.
The earliest I can remember full pay-per-view was WrestleMania 9, Caesar's Palace.
That's a good pay-per-view.
To this day, it's still one of my favorites. But that's the earliest pay-per-view that I remember, like, from start to finish almost. I remember stuff like when Undertaker came out of the Titantron, when he got put in the casket and stuff like that. But I mean, I remember bits and pieces from then, but I started really getting into it probably WrestleMania 9.
WrestleMania, yeah, that was a good show. But have you ever watched the home video? Due to circumstances beyond their control, Bam Bam Bigelow versus Kamala could not happen at the pay-per-view. I don't know what happened, but it shows Kamala messing around with elephants at the end.
I did not know that.
Yeah, see? You learn something new every day. So, who are your heroes growing up in this crazy wrestling business?
I remember being an obvious Hulk Hogan fan at the time.
Are we going to flash Mark Alert underneath?
If you want. No, Hulk Hogan, definitely.
Oh, I got marked alert. Oh, I can't even get marked. Yeah.
I made the video, though.
Oh, okay.
Ultimate Warrior definitely was one of my favorites at the time. I remember using those wrestling buddies at my grandma's house in the middle living room, yelling out that I was Bret Hart when I was putting them in the sharpshooter and stuff like that. Now, a lot of people say that they wanted to be Bret Hart when they were younger. I was actually I remember when Macho Man was a big hero of mine, too. I was 5, and I don't know if you ever heard of the restaurant chain Hardee's.
Yes.
Well,
Stayed at a Hardee's a couple weekends ago, down in Illinois.
I went to a Hardee's one time with my mom, dad, and sister, and they had the jungle gym thing or whatever.
Yes.
They had the ball pit, and there was this kid. He was probably about 8, 9.
Yeah.
I was 5. He was bullying me around in this ball pit, right? I didn't want to do anything, you know. I was scared. And I looked over, and my dad's sitting at the table, and next thing you know, he looks at me, and he just points his fingers up in the air. And I knew exactly what to do, so I waited for him to go down the ball pit, and I climbed up on top of the slide, put both my fingers in there like a Macho Man, and literally dropped an elbow on this kid.
That's pretty cool. So your dad...
My dad encouraged it, definitely.
Your dad encouraged child violence.
I blame my dad and my 2 uncles growing up for putting me in the, getting me into wrestling as much as they did.
So you'd say that's what influenced you to become a wrestler then?
Outside of wrestling itself, my dad and my 2 uncles, yes, definitely. Inside wrestling at the time, Bret Hart, Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, you know.
Very cool, very cool. So, who trained you to participate in this wacky world we know as wrestling?
Well, I started at the age of 16, and I started out at Michigan Sports Camps, Dan Severn's place. At the time, Dan would get in there a little bit with us and wrestle around. I didn't really get to see him a lot because this was what, 6, almost 7 years ago. So he was still kind of active in the MMA world and stuff like that. And so Mark Pennington was helping with the bumps and stuff, and basically showed me the basics, the tie-ups, the bumps, all that stuff. And then I got hurt at school one time, so I had to take a break.
Do you want to talk about that? Or?
I hyperextended my elbow in gym class, so
okay.
I had to take a time off, and then I came back only to take another time off again when I was 18 because I had some cyst removed off my tailbone.
Ugh.
And then from then on out, I just, you know, had a hiatus until I was 22.
And you're so you're 22 now, right?
Yeah, almost 23.
Cool. So that kind of answers how many years you've been active.
This is my first year. But back to the training, Mark taught me the basics, and then when I came back for the first time, Josh Abercrombie was running the class, so he was just killing me at practice, but I loved it. You know, I'm not satisfied with training unless my ass gets kicked. You know, like,
yeah. Absolutely.
I want to feel it the next day. And then I took my hiatus, came back, Roderick Street, started training me, got me, you know, tuned up, got the rust off, got me my 5th and final blue mat. Dan's, I graduated. Well, I haven't graduated yet.
Do you want to explain blue mats to the people who might not know?
Blue mats at Dan Severn's is they just have this single layer mat on the concrete floor. It's not made to take, you know, massive bumps or anything like that. Just your basic headlock takeover, stuff like that, clothesline bumps. It basically just teaches you foundation awareness, and it's made to create your character. Like, you have to work on heel, and you have to work on face, and you know, you got to worry about your foundation and leading a match.
And I think everybody knows a heel and face. Man.
Yeah. And now I'm under the tutelage of Jack Thriller, which is really cool because I remember back in 2002, 2003, I was going to Dan's, watching his shows and watching Thriller.
That's really cool. Like our stories are kind of similar. Like back, you know, I would go to independent shows and I would see Eric Freedom, and then he was the one who eventually ended up training me. So you know, it's kind of cool how things work out that way. Right. What would you say your hardest match ever was? And that could mean, you know, stipulation, opponent.
Stipulation-wise, this is almost a year ago. I wrestled for VIP Wrestling. We were in Corona, Michigan. It was billed as me versus Mr. Nifty in a singles match, and that was probably my 3rd match ever.
I miss Nifty.
And he's a pretty cool guy. I just saw him not too long ago at a POG show. But anyway, it was supposed to be me and him. So for probably about half hour, we talk over our match and stuff like that. You know, what we wanted to do. And I was semi-main. I was pretty pumped about that. It was my third match ever. And
I forgot where I heard this from. I'm gonna cut you off. Whenever I see like I'm semi-main, I always think of it as the buffer. And I don't know if I ever explained to you what the buffer was. It's like, okay, you're semi-main, so like you either do really good and hype up the crowd for the main event, or if you do really, really bad, it'll make the main event look that much better.
Right.
I forgot who, somebody said that to me once, and I just blatantly stole it, but I always call it the buffer.
It makes sense. You know, if you watch the Fed, they kind of kill the mood with a Divas match, and then they go into the main event, you know, like. But,
Depends on what mood.
True. But so I'm pumped because it's my third or fourth match, one of the two. I'm second to the last match of the night, you know. So I'm like, all right, man, this is awesome. Well, then at the last minute, they came up to us and said, well, Roderick Street's gonna be a part of your match, and I'm like, okay. So then we just took another 45 minutes to go over a triple threat. Well, this is actually kind of funny. I like telling this story. We're out in the ring. And it's my, you know, I'm still green. I was really green then. And, man, I had to go out on the outside. I had to powder a little bit because I was what they call a tweener. You know, I was neither face or heel.
Yes.
And I powdered to the outside, and I was waiting for this spot. Well, the spot never came. So I caught myself outside just standing around like waiting, looking like an idiot. So I run back in the ring. We go into the next spot, and then after that, I went over and I grabbed Roderick and I put him in the corner, and I'm just like, hey man, I'm lost. And he's like, so am I. Grab Nifty. So I worked him in the corner a little bit, went over, grabbed Nifty, put him in the corner. Hey man, I'm lost. What's next? Oh man, I'm lost too. So three of us were in the ring, lost. And it felt to me like a train wreck, but the crowd was still pretty hot about it.
Yeah.
And best spot of the night, and I'm gonna say this.
I'm gonna say this without a shadow of a doubt.
But we did a 3-man Tower of Doom, and the crowd ate it up. It was awesome. I felt really good about it. Hardest opponent, since I'm actually can go over 15 minutes now, so.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask you that because we're at like 12:19.
We're good. YouTube gave me my rights.
There you go. It works.
Hardest opponent was Big Reese in Michigan Center. I don't know if anybody knows Big Reese.
I know Big Reese.
I'm 5'8", 5'9" if I'm lucky. I'm 190 pounds. Reese is like 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 360.
See, I love matches like that, though.
I mean, I knew.
All you have to do is bump and feed,
Exactly.
you know.
I knew it was gonna be a hard match, and I was definitely my toughest opponent ever. Although I will say the man is a true professional, because I woke up the next morning and.
Yeah, Reese is awesome. I've never.
Shout out to Big Reese.
Shout out. Are we gonna flash that too?
I'll put it on there.
Yeah, I've never wrestled him, but he's always been
he's pretty
cool guy.
Yeah.
So okay, where's the farthest you ever traveled for a show?
A show that I worked so far was Wabash, Indiana.
Okay.
High risk.
Good old Wabash.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throwing out. We're gonna do another shout out. Damian Michaels, rest in peace.
Yep. That was about. I was riding in the car with Roderick Street, and we got to Fort Wayne. I
Was that? I was with you.
Yeah.
God.
After you got in the car with Lyndon, we were in Fort Wayne, I believe, and he's just like, all right, got another 40 minutes to go. And I'm like, all right. So I'm in the back, and I fall asleep 3 times. And I'm like, man, I'm really tired. This is the longest 40 minutes I've ever experienced. And it was actually like another 2 hours. It was crazy. I just went to a CZW Infinity Pro show last week with Jack Thriller. That was a 4.5 hour drive. And next week, I'm actually going to Illinois to wrestle for IWA Midwest, which is a 6-hour drive in Bellevue, Illinois.
Just wait till you have to drive like 6 to 8 hours by yourself.
Yeah, that's.
I've done that a few times.
I drove here today, and I'm not even. I was bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
And it's only like an hour.
And I don't have a radio in my car. I don't know if you know.
I do.
I have to like sing to myself and keep myself entertained.
I had a car for the longest time and the radio didn't work, so now anywhere I go, I turn the radio off. Like, I don't know why.
Now, is it up to 15 minutes or past 15 minutes?
Oh, it's past 15 minutes.
Okay, because we're at 15:09.
I'm good.
All right, so we're all good. All right. Where did you come up with your name?
Originally, my name was supposed to be Alan Narrows. When I was asked why Alan Narrows, I had the dumbest reason. It's my middle name, and at the time
Narrows?
Alan. My bad. And the road that I was living on at the time was Narrows Road. So
it's kind of like what is your porn star name?
Porn name, soap opera name, all that crap. So,
see, if I ever did that, I'd have to, like, dye my pubes green or something, because I live on Greenlawn Street.
That's weird.
Yeah, I would be, my dog's name is Mason. No, if it's your middle name, I'd be, Thomas Greenlawn.
I like that name. It's a good porn name. But, and then I used to yard back in the day, so they were like, well, you need to get out of that because you got trained for real now.
Yeah.
So get out of the yard years. So they were right. And Chase, this is going to sound a little cheesy. Chase is the name of one of my good friends. And Matthews, obviously, my first name is Matthew, so we just threw an S on. And
oh, very cool.
Actually, I like the ring. Like, it had a ring to it.
Yeah, so. It's a heck of a good name. Man.
And POG, I'm known as High Speed Chase Matthews, according to Mark Pennington.
Dude, I've wrestled you, and that's pretty true.
Well, I appreciate it. Shout out to Mark Pennington, by the way.
Okay.
Got some talent rolling in, man. It's gonna be a big show tonight. All right.
The big show's here tonight.
I think Kevin Nash might be. I heard.
I hope I'm booked with him and we can do the finger poke of doom. What do you say to the people that may be watching this, or just in general, who say that professional wrestling is fake?
Man,
you make horse noises at them?
Yeah, that's it's like it's horse shit, pretty much. And excuse the language.
Oh my lord, that's alright. I've said like pubes, I think.
Yeah,
so.
and I got a dude saying fuck, so.
Oh, all right.
It's okay. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, I guess. You know, I went back after 4-year hiatus to training, got my eyebrows split open in training.
Is that what that scar is?
That's what the scar is right there. If you can see it, right there.
It's a little
somewhere.
out of focus, but we got it. We got you.
Yeah, that's in training, and I mean,
remember when some asshole like came off the middle rope and kneed you in the head?
Yes, that was real. I've had the wind knocked out of me a million times. Yeah, John Campbell did. You know, I've seen stars when I got slammed. Chops I can tell you right now, chops are probably the realest thing you'll ever experience.
Yeah.
And, but I don't know, like, I used to get picked on a lot by my friends, and, you go and hug guys and stuff. It's like,
no, yeah.
I mean.
And think about this, too, like, you know, I always tell people, and I should have said this in my video, but I didn't. You know, pro wrestlers, we have to be athletes, actors, and stuntmen.
Yep.
You know, just all rolled into one. You know, look at a stuntman. He might be working on a movie. You know what I mean? And movies aren't necessarily real, but those stunts are real. Right, you know, those guys are taking hard falls and hard slams and stuff like that. I would dare you to go up to a stuntman and tell him, hey, what you do is real. You know?
Then he'll just show his paycheck that he gets for doing that. I mean, unfortunately, we don't get.
You don't?
We don't get paid. I don't.
Really?
I don't get paychecks for wrestling.
I don't either.
But
I get a hot dog and a handshake.
Yeah, I like the places that give you free food. That's the best. But no, man, it's just like I've seen countless people just, you know, or and it's not just regular people, like people that wrestle backyard. They come in and they get the real training, as we like to call it.
Yeah, it's culture shock. You know, I went from the yard to training. I thought I knew what I was doing.
Exactly.
You find out you don't. You find out quick.
And you look like an idiot, and then you get, when you beat yourself up, and a lot of people, they'll quit after the first night. And it's just, I don't know, it's real. It's real. Yes, there's a rigged finish. Yes, there's,
It's not fake, it's fixed.
Right. And how many other sports out there are fixed,
Yeah, but boxing, and I don't care what people say, UFC.
Yeah, I mean, football games, you never know that. You never know. Like, it's all fixed.
You ever get, I guess you don't wear tights, but next time somebody is like, oh, men in tights, ask them what the hell football pants are made out of.
Exactly.
Football pants are spandex. It's the same thing.
I'm seconding this.
If you don't know this, you never played football, and shut up.
Right. So yeah, if you want to believe it's fake, good for you. I think boxing's fake. So everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Fake, fixed, whatever.
I don't know. Muhammad Ali and
their punches are real.
Like he would be operating the camera like this.
You're Ali right now.
Yeah, that was very insensitive. I apologize to anybody out there who might have Parkinson's.
Shout out to Muhammad Ali's family.
Yeah. But this is see, we don't have the flash, so this is me doing the flash. Right,
but yeah, man. So that's what I have to say, and whatever. So
all right. Well, this concludes In the Car episode 5. 5. This concludes In the Car episode 5. I'm your special guest host, Gentleman John Campbell. There's Chase Matthews, and there's Frank Stein.
He's
making a cameo.
Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. I love you.
All right, he's on the next one. Stay tuned for episode 6 featuring Frank Stein. I will be returning as the host.
Feed my Frankenstein.
Once again, I'm Chase Matthews. This is my dear good friend, special host today, John Campbell.
I look better. Hold on, I look better with the glasses.
And I've really abused this YouTube privilege. Thank you, YouTube, by the way, for giving me more than 15 minutes. And we're out of here, man. Let's go wrestle.